What happens when hiring a foreign tech worker suddenly costs $100,000? Could a single policy change reshape the US labor market, impact inflation, and rattle tech stocks all at once? On September 19, 2025, the US government introduced a sweeping new change to the H-1B visa system. For decades, this program has been the backbone of America's high-skilled immigration policy. But under the new rule, effective just days later on September 21st, companies will now have to pay a one-time fee of $100,000 to bring in new H-1B workers. That's right, $100,000 per worker. It is a massive increase, and the implications could be enormous. In this video, we are breaking down the full impact of this policy, from who it affects to what it means for inflation, wages, tech innovation, and most importantly, your investments. Let's start with a quick primer. The H-1B visa allows foreign professionals to work legally in the United States in high-skilled sectors like science, tech, engineering, and math. It is designed to fill talent shortages, not low-skilled jobs, and the demand is intense. In 2025, nearly 470,000 people applied, but with an annual cap of just 85,000, the odds of selection were less than 18%. Indian nationals dominate the program, making up 71% of approvals, followed by Chinese workers at 12%. For the tech industry, this program is critical. According to Bloomberg, over 65% of H-1B visa holders work in IT-related roles. And since 2012, more than 60% of all approved H-1Bs have gone to computer-related jobs. So when a policy drops that drastically changes the economics of hiring global talent, it is not just an immigration story. It is a business story. It is a tech story. And yes, it is a stock market story. Under the new policy, U.S. companies must pay a non-refundable fee of $100,000 for each new H-1B worker. It only applies to new applications filed after September 21st, so existing workers and renewals are unaffected for now. Still, this is a game changer. For the average Silicon Valley firm that relies on H-1Bs to scale engineering teams, this is a steep new cost. For Indian outsourcing companies like TCS, Infosys, and Wipro, which depend heavily on H-1B staffing, it is an even bigger blow to profitability. Big tech firms like Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Apple, and Google, as well as banks like JP Chase, are also major users of the program. They rely on H-1B talent for roles in cloud infrastructure, AI, data science, and cybersecurity. Hiring costs could surge, project timelines could stretch, profit margins may get squeezed. At the macro level, the impact gets more complicated. On one hand, restricting foreign talent could increase job opportunities for American workers. That might sound good. Lower unemployment, higher wages, more domestic hiring. But higher wages come with higher business costs. If companies have to pay more for talent and pay a six-figure fee just to hire someone, those costs will not stay on the balance sheet. They get passed on to consumers. This creates what economists call a wage price spiral. As wages rise, so do prices. As prices rise, the Federal Reserve could turn more hawkish on inflation. That means tighter monetary policy, higher interest rates, and potentially weaker stock market performance across the board. In other words, this is not just a tech story, it is potentially a Fed story, an inflation story, and if the dominoes fall a certain way, it could affect every sector, from housing to retail to crypto. Not every industry leans on H-1B talent equally. According to the data, tech and IT are far more reliant than manufacturing, energy, or retail, which only account for about 5 to 10% of H-1B approvals. This puts intense pressure on companies that rely on global hiring to remain competitive, but the impact does not stop at tech. The healthcare and pharmaceutical sectors also stand to lose. Many researchers in these industries work under H-1B sponsorship. Delays in hiring could mean delays in drug development, clinical trials, and new treatments, all of which could hit healthcare ETFs like XLV. Smaller companies and startups are especially vulnerable. Unlike giants such as Microsoft or Google, they may not have the cash to absorb the new fees or to offshore the work. That could lead to fewer new products, slower growth, and even job losses at home. So how has Wall Street responded so far? Surprisingly, the tech stock market has remained stable. Investors may believe that large firms can weather the cost, or perhaps they think the policy could be reversed by courts or softened over time. Still, the long-term consequences deserve attention. America's dominance in AI, software, biotech, and cloud computing depends on access to the world's top talent. The H-1B visa has been one of the few legal channels to make that happen. It is not easily replaceable. While mega-cap companies can afford the $100,000 fee to secure elite talent, the innovation economy is broader than that. It includes nonprofits, academic research labs, and early-stage startups. These are the places where the cost may be too high to pay. Let's recap. The new H-1B policy introduces a $100,000 fee on new high-skilled foreign hires. That is a big change for the tech industry, which employs the majority of these workers. On one level, the policy might benefit American workers through higher wages and more job openings. But those benefits come with a cost, namely higher inflation, reduced productivity, and added pressure on business margins. From a market perspective, it could disrupt tech earnings, slow down healthcare research, and force a rethink of hiring strategies in key growth sectors. Ultimately, whether this policy becomes a headwind or just a hiccup depends on how companies adapt and whether the rule stands in its current form. For investors, it is a reminder to look beyond the headlines and understand how labor policy intersects with macro trends, sector performance, and stock valuations. What do you think? Is this policy a smart move to protect American jobs or a self-inflicted wound to our innovation economy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit like, subscribe to Trading Key, and share this with anyone tracking US tech and market policy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.